Welcome to Expedition Sea Nest. Join us this week as we enjoy the beautiful town of Spanish Wells Eleuthera in the Bahamas. We do some spearfishing and a few minor boat tune-ups.
We were traveling from New Providence Island to the Eleutheras, and we had a really good cruise actually, and it wasn't. And then we got in behind an island called Royal Island. There was a nice little cove in there. I think it's called Royal Cove, and we sat there for the night. Good sleep. Next morning we left. When we left, we had the wind had clocked around, and it was coming and hitting us on our stern, on our quarter stern. And the whole trip going across the day before, we left this open because the waves we were taking them in the bow, and I forgot to close this because we now had the waves coming off the quartering, and the wave came in here, and it flooded out this cockpit. Now it was probably about an inch of water that rolled in here, and it was enough that these troughs are pretty good at catching water, but it didn't catch it all, and a lot of it poured down. And I do, for that reason, I have these battery boxes, and I have these on top to keep stuff from touching the contacts. But there's spots where water can get through these little vents, and sure enough, I think that's what happened, is the water came through there. I'm actually thinking about plugging these because I cut these slots in here, and I'm sure whatever ventilation it needs would get through here. And so, sitting here in Spanish Wells at a beautiful marina, I just decided I sprayed everything down with fresh water, and now I'm wiping everything up, and I'm going to put some oil on it. Where's the stuff that I have? It's this one right here. I've got this. This is called corrosion block. And I've been using this for years, and it seems to work really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this on these, and I would recommend people spray this on their contacts, any electrical contacts, even before you get salt water on them, like I did. But I don't even know if it had salt water on them, but I'm just to be on the safe side. I'm cleaning everything up. I've done all the other lockers now. I've rinsed it all down in fresh water, took everything out, rinsed everything down, and put everything back again, because salt water is the enemy when it comes to electrical. So that's what we're starting with. So I'm going to do this one first, drop this back in, and then do the next one.
What a lovely place. Friendly people, clean and safe, and several options for provisioning with hardware stores, a lumber yard and shipyard, and numerous really good restaurants. We were lucky enough to make a friend the first day who gave us a tour of the entire island, a delicious lunch, and lovely scenery. What a treasure! There is an airport nearby, so it's also a perfect spot to fly guests in who may want to join you on the boat. Hands down the nicest marina we've ever stayed at. Spanish Wells Yacht Haven. They have a beautiful pool. Not a huge marina, it's a little more pricey. The facilities are amazing. Got a nice little laundry room. The bathrooms are the best bathrooms with hot showers with great water pressure. I know that's maybe not a big thing for some people, but for me, it's a big thumbs up. They have a lovely restaurant right at the side of the water, and then they have this winding pathway. goes all the way through from the little cabanas that you can rent, and they have hammocks and beautiful vegetation. I gotta look up that thing now. I have never seen a seed or a fruit growing from a tree like that, so I'm gonna go identify that. Okay, it's been identified as the calabash tree. Interesting. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It is as big as a melon. The little ants crawling on it. We don't come from a tropical country, so it's always fascinating to me to identify the plants and the vegetation in the area.
Spanish Wells Marine and Hardware. It's interesting. This is the main street here. Seems to be in Spanish Wells. Seems to be right on the water, which is really interesting. It actually makes it really nice because you can go for a nice evening walk. Julie's done. We've done this a couple times now. Just walk up and down basically the wharf. It's a concrete. It's a road too, with no sidewalk. So it makes it interesting trying to dodge golf carts and other vehicles coming down. That you can get fuel. Here's one place, and then there's another place down there.
So let's go into your favorite place, the hardware store.
Okay.
Decided to go for our walk at noon, which was not good timing because
everyone closed between 12 and 1. Everything. I mean, everything is closed between 12 and 1. It's
like
interesting.
A siesta.
Yeah, I don't know if the big grocery store is closed.
It's not, because I was just there.
Yeah, so, but everything else is, there's that lunch break, and everyone takes it off, and everyone takes Sundays off.
Which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. I really do. I remember those days when Sundays were actually everyone could plan to do something together. Those days are gone. Yeah.
So we'll go for a longer walk and then we'll check out the hardware store on the way back.
Yeah. Good selection in here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So that little house back there, Aunt Bee's, is 144 years old. That's unbelievable. Got a lumber yard and children's school and a church and all these adorable bright little houses that are tucked away on these side streets. And they're all painted these super cheerful colors. It's such a lovely, clean, safe neighborhood to walk in. Good morning.
This old boat that's laying completely sunken there's a use for it. It's actually where they keep the conch. When they want to keep the conch fresh that hasn't been cleaned, they're still alive. They'll store them there, and then one day they'll just pull them out and clean them all. I think that's what they've done here. See this? This boat yesterday was right full of conch. It was overflowing with conch. There had to be probably 200 conch in there at least.
Well, look at that boat.
Yeah, that's probably them. They probably already
Well,
cleaned
that's
them.
what I'm wondering, is that they clean them and just put them into here.
Yeah, they've all been cleaned, and then I suppose, what do they do with all the empty conch? That's a lot of,
That's a lot of
Oh,
conch.
but that boat doesn't look like a working boat. It's full of
Because
water.
I'm standing right above these bonefish, and they
I
don't
know,
even
they're not
spook.
even moving. It's all you can do to not want to get your fly rod.
But you know what? They probably throw the conch stuff out here.
Oh, right.
And all these bonefish are eating, obviously being fed. We wouldn't be able to stand above them like that. They would freak out.
Mike was
I
like,
want to go bone fishing.
yeah, well, we need to go to the hardware store before lunch, so we should probably keep moving.
Yes, ma'am. This is where you can tie your dinghy up to. All along this seawall, there's places to tie your dinghy up. So if you're a cruiser and you're staying out of Meek's Patch, or you're just hidden somewhere out there in the bay, you can come in here and load up on your groceries and what have you. It's really, really simple here in the Bahamas. They're very good at welcoming cruisers, and I wish other places was like that. As if any of you have ever cruised the Keys or Florida or any other places, it's not always so simple to find places to put your dinghy, where here in the Bahamas, they're always welcoming the cruisers.
So Spanish Wells streets are on like a grid pattern. And at 18th Street and Leo Pinder is a sizable grocery store that has better prices and quite a bit of selection for groceries. So that's where we're headed now to pick up some more supplies before we leave tomorrow morning.
We're getting like one day a week where you can literally travel. The rest of the week is just mass chaos, like swinging winds and high winds, like incredibly high winds, like 30 knots, 25 knots, where the ocean state is not suitable for anyone to travel on. And so it's everyone's moving that one day. So tomorrow is the day that if anyone's moving, they're moving tomorrow. And we are too. So we're going through the Devil's Backbone tomorrow. That is a coral head-ridden passage taking us from Spanish Wells down to Bottom Harbor, where Dunmore Town is. And it's a really well-protected area. It's as far as you can go from, you can get protected from an east wind, a south wind, and a west wind really well, just by moving a couple miles. So, which we'd almost be doing every day. I mean, because that's the way the winds are just clocking around every day this year. And I think that's the plan. We may spend a good portion of the winter there, because unless things change, unless we start getting a more typical winter weather condition, we're probably going to spend a lot of that time there, where we can be protected. And we can still do some spearfishing on the ocean side when the conditions, when we have west winds, and when the tides are right.
Leading up to Devil's Backbone.
I'm a little worried, to be honest with you. Although
It's sunny.
If you can cruise Georgian Bay in the small boat channel, those places, and Lake Huron, I mean, this is nothing. But it does have a bit of a reputation, so I am going to be very careful. But we've got a clear sky, a few clouds. You just can't get a day here without clouds this year.
Or wind.
Or wind, yeah. So I mean, we would like to go on a lot less wind than this. It's still blowing 10 knots out of the, out of the west today, isn't it?
It was northeast this morning.
Northeast this morning. Wow.
when you see those waves, you can't probably see that with the GoPro, but when you see the surf breaking, it makes you a little nervous, but I think it'll be fine. We're in good hands. Captain Mike.
I don't know. Wow.
I just wanted to get a before.
I've got both. I've got this is my Aqua Maps. So I'm using this one. I'm also using my Navionics. So we're going to compare the two, and we'll try to pick something in between. We'll try to get something close to the same. The problem with the, I have to say, with the
Aqua Map?
no, with the iPad is that it's dark compared to your to this screen.
Garmin.
Yeah, the Garmin. But you want to have them both, I think, for a lot of these things. It's nice to have them both.
So the verdict is?
Not doing it. It's really rough out there. There's got to be at least 4 to 6 foot breakers out there. I'm not taking a chance on that.
So the plan is?
The plan is to hang tight and then try it again and later on this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's pouring rain and windy. Actually, the rain's let up a little bit. All night, on and off, and most of the day it'll be windy and rainy. So we are tucked into a dock and waiting for the nasty weather to pass. So it is a work on the computer day. Maybe go out for a walk later on, even if it's raining. I don't care. I'm going to need to stretch my legs or have a dance party, which I probably won't film and put you through watching me spaz dance again. But the sky just looks so threatening and yucky, and you just want to crawl back in bed. But yeah, you can only do that for so long, and that's boring too. We ended up taking the Bimini down last night because it was flopping in the wind, and we're worried about damage to the framework or damage to the Bimini. So just to be safe, we took it down. But this is what it looks like. The sky's kind of nasty.
How you doing, hon? We're heading out. We're going to see if we can get some fish for dinner.
You caught me in halfway. My wetsuit pants are halfway up. It's a struggle.
Yeah, it's not easy to get some of these things. Mine's not too bad for some reason, but Julia,
It's like suction. You put these things on and it's like
yeah.
on the body. So yeah, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
What now?
So we're gonna go get some fish, and I thought, you know what, we could. We got this place almost to ourselves. There's a catamaran over there. I'm not sure if he's leaving or he's just rigging his sails and maybe fixing something. I'm not sure, but we just got here, so we've only been here for 10 minutes, and we're just itching because we've had a full day. You've been a long time since you've been in the water. For me, I was in the water 2 days ago. But yesterday we spent the entire day in the boat because it was blowing like crazy.
Raining, pouring.
Oh, it was just a horrible day. But we are heading out. This is, I don't know if you can see that back there, but that's Egg Island. And right over behind you here is Royal Island. And it's privately owned. But Egg Island, apparently there's some beaches we're allowed on. So we're gonna go in there later on. But right now the tide is so high, the beaches are gone. So what we're going to do is go out and do some spearfishing, then come back, have a little rest, and then go for a nice walk on the beach. Julia gets some exercise, and then we'll probably head back to Royal Cove again, Royal Bay. I don't know what it's called on Royal Island, just for the protection. It's not too far. It's only a couple miles from here. So that's the plan.
It's got good protection from most sides in that cove.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah.
So that's why it's a good place to go back to.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
Any day on the water moving is a good day doing something. Sitting in the boat doing nothing all day can make you go a little cuckoo.
Mm-hmm. right, well, that was a good day. We didn't get that many fish. We're getting this little schoolmaster snapper. You know, they always look bigger in the water. But we did get the only big grouper we saw. That guy. Look at that. Isn't that's a yellowfin grouper. Isn't that a dandy?
That is
That's huge. Yeah, but he pulled me in underneath the rocks. That was kind of scary. So every time I go to clean fish, I always sharpen my knives. And I usually clean my fish as soon as I get back to the dock, because typically we don't have ice on board. So as soon as we get back, I want to get this on ice. So a quick knife sharpening like this here. My favorite knife is a Rapala. It's got a rubber grip. It's really good to hold. It's a big one. I'm not sure what size it is, but it looks like it's about a 12, 14-inch blade on that. But they work really well, and they've been around forever. Okay, give it a few, and I do it every time, because if you wait, if you do it maybe every third time you clean fish, what happens? It gets really dull, and if it gets really dull, then it's really hard to bring back to that same sharpness again. And you know what's that saying? A dull knife is a dangerous knife. That's what I hear. All right. So on a fish like this is a big fish. So a grouper like this has a substantial rib cage in it. Like when I do a smaller fish, I'll cut right through the rib cage. This one here, I will not. This one here, I'll start in. I want to get as much meat as I can. So what I'll do is I'll cut down like this, and I'll actually go around the corner a bit. You see this right back here? Because I know I'm getting some of the meat there. You don't want to waste something like this. All right. That was just because I hit its spine. The fish is dead, but when I hit its spine, it jumps. So now I'm going right along the backbone, but I'm also going right along the rib cage here. See, there's the rib cage right there, because I don't want to dull my knife by going through. Now I do have another knife that's serrated that I can use for doing that, but if it just takes a little bit longer. You see that? We've almost got it here. You see, there's the rib cage. Unfortunately, that's a good portion of the fish is the rib cage. So you want to take your time and cut closely around it, and then all of a sudden it just drops off. And that's when you start coming in like this. Now I'm running along the backbone. See, if I pull this back here, see I'm not wasting anything. See that? There's the actual, that's the ribs. Get down to here. Keep going down along it. You take it, I don't cut it right off here. What I do, I cut it right to there, and I flip it over. Now I'm a lefty, so I am actually going to lay it like this. This is where I like a big cutting board, so I'm allowed to do this like that. So see that? I can lay this. This is a nice big cutting board. Okay, so there's one bone in here, but that's about it. So now I'm going to take my knife, and I've got something to hang on to now because it's attached to it. And I'm going to just go like this. And I'm kind of on a little bit of an angle towards the cutting board, not very much. And I'm just slowly sliding it along that skin and do that. You see that? There's very little waste. And there's that hole for the spear. Okay? All right. So there's one of our fillets. That's a big fillet right there. That fillet, that's got to weigh next to 4 pounds right there. That's a dandy. So we'll rinse that off.
for watching. Leave us a comment if you have the time. It really makes our day. And thanks again for the likes and subscribing. We are absolutely floored by how many people are watching our little videos. It's actually quite a lot of work to film and edit these episodes, so we are encouraged to continue when we feel that you are enjoying watching them. Even the cringy ones where I was learning how to do the audio and editing. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Have a great day.